Welcome back to the Movieverse, your best place for movie and TV show content. I'm your host, Benji Boo Thing, Benji Babe. This your other host, Kendrick, aka
Kendrick Lamar,
Lemar, Ken Snitch,
Lebanese,
whatever you want to call him. We're back for another full episode today. As always, please hit the like, subscribe buttons on this video. We love your support. We're bigger on TikTok. If you want to check out our TikTok, we'd love that too.
Give us a follow.
Give us a follow. We're on all platforms though. We do also do
all of them.
Live episodes on, or not live episodes, but full episodes on Apple Podcasts, all podcast platforms, yes. Spotify, all those as well. So if that's your thing, you should go check that out. As always, to start off our episode today, listen to our sound of us opening up our cans. Oh, what a good sound. Give a toast to a good episode today.
Oh, he's gulping. I just took a sip.
You really side note, I was really thirsty.
Yeah, he was thirsty.
I was very thirsty.
I took my time with that one.
Yes.
I just sipped.
Well, an outline of our episode today. We are going to be talking about the movie of the week, Black Phone 2. As always, we pick a movie every week that is got the most traction or the one that most people want to watch, but what most people want to hear us talk about. This is a movie that takes us way back to our early years of filming on the podcast, actually.
It's one of our early ones.
We love this. We loved the first film.
We did.
We are very excited to dive back into this universe and talk about this movie. So kind of a cool episode for us.
Yes, it is.
And then after we do that, so during that, we'll talk about what we liked, what we were mixed on, what we didn't like about the film. We'll give you our ranking, our score, and then our ranking on the year.
Yes.
And then we'll ask the big question we ask every episode. Does this movie of the week belong in our timeline, or should we place it in a forgotten timeline in a different universe?
To never exist our minds.
Never want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Then after that, we'll do our binge report, which is where we go over movies and TV shows we've been watching, keeping up with other new projects that have come out. So
yes.
Well, again, like and subscribe, but I think we'll get right into it.
Without further ado.
So Black Phone 2, to give you a little synopsis on the movie.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Black Phone 2 is the sequel to The Black Phone, both done by, what's his name?
Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson, written and directed both
yes.
of them. This is the follow-up. Many years later, they're kind of more into their adult high school years now, the kids are. And our villain, the grabber,
Ethan Hawke,
by Ethan Hawke, is back at it, but from the spirit realm this time, and haunting them in places that we didn't know were going to connect to their past, but do. Haunting them with more children, like the last movie, more dead children, and also giving us a little bit more insight to the lore and this universe and how it works. So,
because spoiler, he dies in the first movie, so you go, how is he going to do anything in the second one?
Exactly.
But it's from like a spirit realm.
Yes, which is opened up to in the first movie, so it does make sense.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah.
All right.
So, Kendrick, why don't you get us started? What did you like about the movie?
Here's what I liked about Black Phone 2. I would say, overall, I love Ethan Hawke. I've always loved Ethan Hawke. And I loved him in Black Phone 1 especially, and I still love him in this one.
He has such a good voice for the character.
He has a great voice for the character. I love the way he's designed as a character. The mask is, I still think, one of the coolest I've seen. And it's creepy and scary.
It really is.
I think it's a very well-designed mask.
It's an interesting one, though, because I feel like it's not the cliche.
It's not. It feels like almost like a clown mask, but not at all. Like it feels
it's like that
mix of like demonic and clown or something. It's weird. It's got like a full smile, but
it's very unique. So
it's really unique.
Like I would put him in that villain category where he is his own villain. Like he doesn't feel like any other villain.
Yeah, he doesn't. So it's cool. So I love Ethan Hawke's performance. He's great. I think all actors are actually pretty good in this. I even think our two main kids, brother and sister, are great. What's the dude's name?
Mason Thames.
Yeah, Mason Thames I think is a great actor. I've loved everything I've seen him in. Especially How to Train Your Dragon live action this year. I thought he was a big standout there, and I just still think he's great in this, and he was great in the first movie. Sister standout as well. I thought she killed it. And even their friend and the other side characters in the movie, I thought were pretty good. Like, there's no acting I thought was bad, and I like that. So I would give a lot of props here just to acting overall and characters. I thought were actually really well done. From a horror element, I think it did pretty good. I think there's use of cinematography here in production that I think is really good to make it. First of all, it's smart to set it back in the 80s, like early 80s, because the first movie is like the late 70s, and it still kind of feels that vibe in here, which is nice. It kind of gives it more of a eerie feeling because there's not really like technology, which I love.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's even like there's things like that I just think are really, really good, and I like how this is more set in a snowy, cold environment, which also adds to the eeriness.
What's the line he says? Hell isn't fire, hell is ice.
Yeah, like, it's either I
felt that.
Hell is cold or something like that. I was like, okay, like, dang.
Hell is ice.
Yeah, hell is ice. Yeah. Which this definitely has that, so that's pretty cool. And there's sequences that are filmed like extra fuzzy to be like these dream sequences.
They drop to what's it called? Like photo 8 or something.
Yeah, I can't remember the name either, but they do something with the camera there that makes it.
She goes into her dream sequence.
That makes you go like, ooh, that actually looks like a 70s movie, and that makes me feel really weird and creepy and like.
Anytime she's in a dream.
Yeah, it's a good way to differentiate the dreams from reality. So I like that. Yeah, and then I think a pretty solid story. I think it goes through really cool lore, and I think it also is a cool way to like turn it more into a Freddy Krueger story in a way where you still have this guy haunting them through like the spirit realm as not necessarily a physical presence there in a way, but also is, like I think that was cool. To get more of a spiritual aspect there of like a kind of more of a ghost haunting sort of thing, in my opinion. Whereas the first one, he's there in person and it's more of a serial killer kind of thing. I thought it was cool to get that other perspective here. Good. It's just good.
Really, I like what you said. I like how it's able to these two movies mesh so well together, because the first movie is more serial killer, but introduces all the spirit realm stuff.
You do have it there.
This movie is the serial killer plus the spirit realm stuff. So it's just a really good way to do a sequel story.
Exactly. So it's fun to still see like the haunting and fear of someone who's not actually present there. And I think it adds some cool stuff to the characters and more depth to them. And so story wise, pretty great. And I think dialogue's really good here too. Actually, I like the script a lot. I think Ethan Hawke actually had some
some of the best lines,
really great lines here. I can't quote them verbatim, but like I remember there's certain just monologues he gets, and I'm like that. Yeah. I was like, that is great villain lines right there. Like totally perfect. He's like something along the lines of like he's like it's the kid's like, what do you want from me? And he's like, it's not a want. He's like, it's an insatiable need or something. And I was like,
it's an insatiable desire, I think is what he said.
Yeah. And he's like, and I want to hurt you. Basically, and you're like, oh my gosh. You're like, that gives me chills.
He kills it.
So when great writing.
Well, and the just, you don't always see like, bookends between two movies. You usually see them in the same movie, but it was cool to get a bookend where like Mason Thames has, the way he killed him in movie 1, and there's a callback to that in this that Ethan Hawke brings out as the villain, and I'm like, even just that type of dialogue feels so good and raw for the moment in the movie. Like they fit all that stuff in really well.
No, I agree, and it's even funny how they throw in. That's not funny. It's cool how they throw in like there's some Christian elements in here that I didn't even expect.
Because there are a couple in the first one too.
There is, and I guess I was looking up, and Scott Derrickson is a Christian and stuff. So it's like interesting to see that thrown into here, like this horror movie, but kind of like with some Christian ideologies, which I was like, that's pretty dope.
And it works really well.
It does work really well. Yeah. And hearing him, I saw some clips of him talking more about how he throws in Christian stuff into his horror projects, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
Because it just works well. I mean, you get demonic stuff in general usually comes from, I feel like, Christian religions.
Yeah, of course.
Lore. So it's always something that can be there, but he does a really good job at putting it in, not in your face way, but just
versus like the story. Exorcist stuff. You're like, all right, but and here it's really cool. So those are probably my biggest things. But there's a lot to love here. So what did you like?
Yeah, no, I mean, first big thing for me, there is just always a difference, and it's me geeking out thing. It is, and some people will get this, some people won't, but I can tell when things are done really well in the production category and the cinematography category when my wife brings things up, because my wife is not like some movie guru person. She sees very few with me anymore, and like she's not a movie guru. It's like it's when she brings up to me in the movie where she's like, "Holy cow, that lens change is super sick." I'm like,
"Dang, that is rare."
And it is super rad. The creativity and the artistic nature to Scott Derrickson and his filmmaking is so there, and it's so present. And it's very beautiful. There are really good shots. There's like specifically one scene that just I loved where 3 of our characters are standing in a triangle and the camera is circling them in a one shot while they're doing a conversation, and it circles them about 3 times. And there's no cut, doesn't stop, but it just gives you each character's face throughout the scene multiple times, and it's super cool shot. Everything about the look and the production, like you brought up, the ice nature, the lake, it all just looks really, really, really good. That part of that comes from the color palette, the way he shoots it, the way he directs it, the way he focuses in on certain things. The way he throws in some characters that aren't there, but then are there, but then aren't there. You would know when you see the movie, but there's just things that he does from a creative standpoint, from a filmmaking standpoint, that had me on wanting to stand up and clap multiple times, because I was just like, this is super cool stuff. Like I think the reason I wanted that is because we watched so many movies, and it's fun watching a movie like this because you see the difference in somebody who's really artistically filming and someone who's just like making a movie, I guess you would say. Does that make sense? And that's not always a bad thing. Like, I don't think blockbusters are always trying to like be artistic in nature with their camera work. No. There's a lot of other things going on, CGI, whatever. But I feel like when you take out the CGI, you're able to do a lot of really cool things with your camera work, and it's pretty sick here. So
true.
That's one of the best things I love about this movie. I think from a production standpoint, even the music. Oh, there's music in certain moments that I thought was really, really, really good.
Good song choices.
Design's great. So, Mason Thames is awesome. I think he's a stud.
I think so too.
When one of the first scenes is him smoking a joint outside of his house, and he puts his leg up on the house, and I just like the first thought in my head was like Patrick Swayze. I'm not putting him on that level, but like just the vibe he gives off. I was like, this is the kind of vibe that Patrick Swayze gave off in movies way back in the day, where he just stand in a scene all by himself and you wouldn't have to say anything, and you were like, that's a stud right there.
Interesting.
And he has a certain aura about him that he's growing into right now. Where he can sit there in a scene and you kind of just lock in on him for some reason. He's got a certain presence that I really like. Does. Again, I'm not comparing him from like a talent level or anything to Patrick Swayze yet, because he's not there, obviously. I'm just saying like he's got somewhat of that like studly, suave but not done up hair, good look, face that just kind of like, and then his nature and his aura that brings out this like studly vibe. And then he has a moment in this film. Not all types of films like this do you get moments where the actors can really act. I will say in the first one of the things I remember us talking about was that we thought he was really good, and it's hard to find kid actors. I remember talking about this.
I do.
Like, it's hard to find kid actors who can not be cheesy in roles like that. He killed it in Black Phone 1. Nothing was cheesy. Everything was done so well. And in this movie, he doesn't quite get as much of those types of emotional moments, but there's one moment in particular where he gets really emotional that I was just like, wow, there's the kid again. Like, he's so good.
He is.
So I'm excited to see what he does. The one, I won't say everybody in the cast, I had a problem with specific moments with his sister. I can't remember her name right now, but I'll talk about that in my mixed category, because it is mixed. It's not like didn't like. She kills it in the emotional, dramatic scenes. She is so good at screaming and not making it cheesy. She's so good at like being thrown around in certain scenes, which I don't know how they did some of that stuff, but she's so good at like doing the horror stuff. Like, she fits this genre really well. But there's a couple things about her acting in other elements that I'll talk about. And then, I think all of our side characters are used in a good way. They're not over the top ever. They're not overly used.
Yes.
And then Ethan Hawke is he's the grabber, bro. Like, he does such a good job at that, voicing that role. You never really get to see his face, but such a good job voicing it. It's not a spoiler, like the skating scene you see in the trailer, like that lived up to all the hype. That sequence is one of the best sequences ever. Like, it's so good. I freaking loved it. The aura that he has in that scene as a villain, just like it's so good.
Thanks.
The way he's skating, it's just Yeah. So anyways, loved a lot about the production, you can tell, obviously, because even the way they made that scene look like they CGI his feet at one point to be like ice skates,
Yeah.
with, like bloody feet.
Yeah.
It looks so real in a way.
Facts.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, there's just lots of stuff. I think production wise, it just felt really, really good from a horror movie world and stuff. It was all built really well. And then I like our characters and our actors and everything. And then, yeah, the story I thought was a great sequel story. I said this in your section, but I think it just, they found a way to really tell a great follow-up story without feeling like it wasn't needed. Like, now that I've seen it, I feel like it's totally needed. Like, I feel like it caps off so many different things with the mom, with our characters.
Yeah.
It is so needed and so good. Gives a lot of depth to the relationship between the grabber and these kids too. Like, it's just, there's a lot of stuff here that I think caps off really, really well.
Yeah.
So this doesn't feel like a stretched out story, which a lot of sequels can. It doesn't feel like something that's just, oh, let's find a way to do another movie. It feels needed.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And then let's go in our mixed category. Go ahead.
Okay. Mixed. Let me think here. I think for mixed, I would just say, I think what I'm seeing people say, I mean, everyone's strongly comparing it to the first one. I mean, which happens with sequels. And I think, yeah, they're two pretty different movies. I'll say that. I'll say, like, they're going for very different goals in both movies. Yeah. I like both, but I think some people obviously have complained about how this is more on that Freddy Krueger style type movie.
Yeah, a lot of
and
people,
how the first one is more of your grounded serial killer movie.
Yeah. But again, you can't just repeat. Rinse.
Yeah, that's true. You can't.
I don't like. I get what they're saying, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Repeat. This is a good way to like evolve the story, but I have seen people mixed about that too.
Yeah. And then
throw in here.
Sounds like people are mixed about the sister. I didn't feel that mixed about the sister. What'd you feel mixed on with her?
Okay, so it's her in. And I don't know if other people are saying this, but like this was Kate's only complaint too.
Yeah.
When she's in stale moments, like just regular conversation and not dramatic moments, she feels like she's reading right off a page. Like it felt really bad. And there's a couple moments that are really obvious, especially when you put her and the Ernest character, her like boyfriend, together in a scene talking without anybody else. It just feels really amateur. Like that's where I felt it. But then, and it's just really confusing because at the beginning of the movie, she bugged me. A lot of her lines felt extremely red. And then all of a sudden, I was thinking, oh, she's just going to annoy me most of the movie because she wasn't annoying in the first movie. But then all of a sudden, you get into the dramatic elements, and I'm like, she's impressing the heck out of me. Like, she's killing it. So it's hard. That's why this is mixed for me. I would have put her in didn't like if I didn't like it. She killed it in other moments. Like, I'd say almost she saved her performance because I'd say most of her performance is actually really, really, really good. Yeah. That's why I'm not surprised she didn't really care too much because I think like the majority of her performance, once you get into our dramatic scenes, which is like 70% of the film, I think she's just unbelievable in the horror elements. But yeah, there are moments when she's just talking that feel like she doesn't know what she's supposed to be acting out. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. Like I wouldn't blame her. She just didn't seem like she knew exactly what she wanted to act in certain moments. Like it just felt like she just was reading and didn't really know how to like do her character. I don't really know how to say that, but yeah. That's really what that's the only thing I was mixed on was her. Okay. The only thing I felt throughout the movie was her. But again, when she's like acting, that's honestly the way I would say is when she's acting, she's doing really good. I just don't feel like she's acting at all in a couple moments in the film. So
I feel that more with the boyfriend, dude, than her.
And that's why I said like when they're together, like specifically there's a couple scenes where they're the only two talking in a scene. Yeah. And it feels like their banter back and forth is like one line.
That's very true, actually.
One line. Like
that's very true.
It felt very.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mason Thames. I think some people won't pick up on her because I think when it's her and Mason Thames, he does a really good job because he's just so good. I think he does a good job at like carrying the scene and moving the dialogue. But when it was her and the Ernest, like specifically there's a couple scenes, like one when they're like cuddling together, where I was like,
that scene, that's what I'm thinking of when you say all this.
Ooh, it's like rubbing my head, like, dude, you got to move this scene forward. It feels very. Here's my line. Here's my line.
That's true. The momentum was kind of missing. I agree with that.
But no, it like again, like she kills it the majority of the time. And that's why I think that since Ernest and our other characters weren't really that involved in the movie, they were involved a good amount, that it's not a big deal either.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd say mixed.
Yeah. Ernest, I would go the most mixed on just because, his involvement was a little much for me. I think the other side characters I was totally chill with, actually. I think their involvement was really, really good. But him, I was like almost, when I saw he was even joining them on their journey, I was kind of like, I was like, why? Wait, where did that come from? Like, that kind of came out of nowhere for me. And so his role
finally explained it later, but I was very
like his role to me was just kind of like, I was like, like not bad. So I'm not gonna say I didn't like it, but also didn't like it. Like, it was kind of just mixed for me.
In a way, I feel like because they had to find a way to get Mason to go with her to this camp.
Yeah,
I feel like that was the way that the director found to like write Mason up there to the camp, was like, oh, let's get a guy with her, and his protective self will have to go. Yeah. Which I get that, but again, like,
I think Mason would have done it anyway without him.
Yeah, if he saw, I don't see how he could see his sister going by herself to that camp. Also,
exactly.
Like, I think I don't think he's.
Or he keeps seeing her go through her sleepwalking and crazy dreams. He'd probably be like, "Okay, we need to go." So I don't know, but I don't know what else would people be mixed on.
That's really all I've seen was that. So the girl, and then the story being a lot more of the sinister stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I can see why people would be mixed on it, but I don't agree with it, because I do think that's the only way to do this story. I don't want to see. It's the same way I felt at the end of this movie. Kate and I were talking about, how do you do another movie? Do you do another movie? And I was like, nothing after this, because you're gonna have to rinse and repeat something. Like the only ideas I could come up with for a sequel would be, oh, he's got these other kids that he killed and buried that need to be, what do they call it, like released or whatever.
I feel like they're gonna do a third.
No, so this is what I was I'm like, sequel wise, they're gonna have to rinse and repeat something. There's not really anything you can do to evolve our characters more. I don't think there's anything needed for Black Phone 3.
Yeah.
What I would say you have to do if you're gonna do a third movie is, which I'll say in a second, because I want to get back to my point, was I don't feel like sticking to the grounded serial killer complete level makes any sense. One, he's dead.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't see, you have to rinse and repeat something, and that just gets old to me. Like, this felt like we're keeping everything still from the first one. A lot of our characters, and we're like evolving and going with stuff in the first one. So anyways, I think if you are going to do a third movie, though, it's got to be a prequel, and it's got to be about the Grabber's early years at the lake with the mom. I think that's what it's got to be more about.
Yeah.
Leading up to her death. I think something along those lines could work, because the story's there, just not told yet. And so that's the only thing I could see. But otherwise, if you're not doing that, I don't want a sequel to this one. I don't want a third movie that's after this, because I don't think that there's any reason to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just make up a story to make up a story. I feel like this is the end.
I could see this being like 10 to 20 years down the line, they rebooted or something. I could totally see that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But again, that's again where I would say, like, I don't agree with it, because the only reason franchises do that is usually to
rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
it's true. But I feel like horror franchises, they love to do that.
They do.
They love to reboot it. Work.
This is very successful.
Exactly.
This movie made more in its opening weekend than Black Phone 1 did.
Yep. You just give it enough years, they'll be like, this is the next Black Phone movie. This is based on these movies that came out from about 10 years ago. You know, it just happens all the time.
The only other idea would be rinsing and repeating it, but with new characters, like doing
which that's what I feel like they would do.
Like a new serial killer.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like that. So
I know.
I approve of that, but yeah, I mean, that's
I could see that.
You could see it, yeah. But again, I think, like, as far as warranted ideas, the only warranted idea I could see would be a prequel.
Yeah. Okay, dislike category.
I think this is another movie where I don't really have anything I dislike. I think it did a great job. Honestly, I was actually very pleased. Again, the only things where I had to complain about was some acting, but it was mixed.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I sat there and I was like, yeah, I don't like that. I genuinely had a very, very good time. I think it's very close to my enjoyment with the experience of Black Phone 1.
Yeah.
Not quite, but yeah, I had a great time. I was very pleased.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything necessarily to dislike. I think my only thoughts that are not positive are, one, I am of the opinion this wasn't needed, even though I liked what I saw, but I still never thought they should make a sequel. When I got out of that movie,
Originally, I never thought so. Depending on the movie, I loved it. But.
And I know that like sequels come out and you don't ever really think it at the time when you see the first one, but I still like. I guess I'm happy because I enjoy it, but I just never thought the story needs a sequel.
With the story that you get now, though, like with the cap off to the mom's character, the cap off to like his death. I feel like the mom's character specifically and their family ties and stuff. Like I feel like that. Like we actually got something that makes sense to why she has the dreams.
Yeah,
we got a connection to the sinister world and how that all works. I don't know.
It's again, cool, but
needed, maybe not. No, I guess I could agree with you on that. But
yeah.
Like, after seeing the movie, yeah, I totally want it there. I guess that's what I would say. Like I was telling Kate, like after watching this movie, if I was to recommend horror movies to people, I'd be like, yeah, watch Black Phone 1 and Black Phone 2. I feel like they work really well together.
They do work well together, so that's good. But yeah, I would never say this was needed. And I still like Black Phone 1 more. I'll say that. I still think I still rate this high and I still go positive on it, but I do prefer Black Phone 1. And although I do like a lot of the ideas presented here, I do like, but I will say I did like the serial killer Ethan Hawke presence being bigger in Black Phone 1. So
agreed. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
Those are my
and I think most people would. I haven't seen too many people that say Black Phone 2 is better than Black Phone 1. I think Black Phone 1 is an original concept that just
it is. Yeah.
Anytime you got an original concept that does really, really well, I feel like you're never gonna. It's very hard to sit there and say like, oh yeah, I like this sequel better than that, because the original concept, the original idea is just so good for a reason. It's original, it's unique. So yeah, I'd agree with you wholeheartedly. Like Black Phone 1 is my movie of this franchise for sure. I'm just happy that I have a sequel to it that works. Like if I was to watch these again, I would be just fine watching both of them. Yeah,
which is good. I'm glad it wasn't a flop.
So I think we're in agreement on that.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. I can see your points there.
Yep.
But yeah, I think another movie where really like didn't like it. Just not much to pull at as far as the movie itself goes, especially.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's good. Score wise, I'm probably right at like a 4.1, 4.0. Right in that range out of 5. What about you?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
The first one I give 4.5. Yep. Did you give 4.5? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. First one was a 4.5.
They're both pretty on par for me. Like I actually was struggling when I left the theater to debate which one I liked more. So that shows it's not an easy opinion for me.
I think it actually is close.
It is close.
Like, I will say just it's the originality of the first one that makes me like the first one more. And I think I think that's what it is for both of us. Like the grounded that and I'm glad we saw it again. Glad we saw that basement again, because that basement brought back so much nostalgia.
No, I know.
That basement just I feel like
for real.
That is Black Phone. You know what I mean? Like that was it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just hard to beat that.
It's
so hard to beat that. I still remember sitting there in the theater and that my feeling in that basement and like the wall, like breaking through the wall part with the refrigerator and stuff, like all that is so.
And then I'm just Ethan Hawke bias. I love having tons of him, and you don't get as much of him in this one, not unsurprisingly. But so
that's a good point. You get more Ethan Hawke himself and stuff.
That's why I love getting more Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So I think it is hard though. That's why it's good. Like there were moments I genuinely thought maybe 4.5. Like there are moments.
There was moments I thought
that
too.
I'm like, wow, this is sick. Not quite there, but is this my ranking?
This is yours. Where'd you put on the year?
For me, on the year, I've got it at 20 out of 90.
Yeah, 20 out of 90. So that's pretty good.
Like when you hear 20, I feel like some people think, oh, it's not that good. No, 20 out of 90
that's high.
Is high.
Yeah.
That's in my top 25%, top quarter of the year for movies. So I think it's very, very good.
Especially for a horror movie.
From an enjoyment standpoint, especially for a horror movie.
Yeah.
From an enjoyment standpoint, there's some movies above it that I was like, yeah, I could see myself maybe watching this again before I watch even some of those.
Yeah.
But movie overall, I think it's a very good spot. 20 out of 90 is really solid. What about you?
Okay. I put it at 22 out of 62. So pretty high for me too.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
On that 20 mark.
And I feel like it's going to be hard to beat some of that. So yeah, no, it's good.
Yep.
It's good. All right. Big question. Does this movie earn a place in the movie multiverse, or should we just stick it over in a forgotten shelf over there where we never see it again?
It belongs in the movie multiverse.
Totally does.
It has a solid spot in there.
Totally.
I would say so.
Yep. I think it's one of those sequels that's like, it's solid.
Yeah.
It's not one that was needed, like Kendrick said.
No.
Like I could have done with just a Black Phone 1. I would have been
Same.
just fine.
Yep.
But I feel like this Black Phone 1 got a little forgotten because it's been a few years.
That's so true.
I think this does revamp the Black
it does.
1 premise and
yeah,
reminds me to be recommending that more.
Yeah.
I've forgotten about that movie a little bit.
And I think if you do like Black Phone 1, then you'll totally like this. Like
You'll do this.
I don't see why you wouldn't. Besides if you have little gripes. But I don't think anyone's going to be like, this is a horrible movie compared to the first one. It's like, no, they're
totally
quality-wise, I think on par.
And
so
let's be happy. We got a sequel that was very good.
That was good. Yes.
That's always great.
Yeah. Props to Scott Derrickson. Good job.
Props to him. I like that. 3, 2, 1. Wow, that was like really on par.
That was.
I didn't expect it to be that clear.
Just like the movie with the first one.
That's crazy. Well, there's our full movie review. Appreciate you. Your church checking out this video. We appreciate you checking this out. Again,
Yes.
please make sure to like and subscribe.
Let us know what you thought of it.
Yes, sir.
You can let us know if you thought it was trash, which would be
That's
crazy
true.
if you did, but hey,
That's true.
it's your opinion.
It is your opinion. We're always open for discussion.